All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today we are cracking the code on Red Notice and breaking down one of the slickest, most globe-trotting heists you've ever seen on screen.
So, where does this whole thing kick off? Well, it all starts with a legend, right? One of those stories that sounds way too good to be true. We're talking about 3 priceless, bejeweled eggs. The story goes that Mark Antony gave them to Cleopatra as this ultimate symbol of his love. For centuries, everyone just figured, nah, that's just a myth, except it wasn't.
Fast forward to 1907. A farmer literally stumbles upon 2 of them. Just imagine that. But the third one? Vanished. Poof! It becomes the holy grail of the art world, the one prize everyone is after. And that single missing egg? That's what kicks off this insane worldwide chase.
Okay, so who's actually in the running for this thing? Let's get into the players. We've got 3 key figures here, and their collision course is what makes this whole story tick.
First, we've got Special Agent John Hartley. This guy is the FBI's top art crime profiler. You know, he's the one they call when a masterpiece just walks out the door. His whole thing is getting inside a thief's head. And he's really good at it. He can practically tell you what a thief is going to have for breakfast. But, and this is a big but, his biggest weakness is his own blind spot. He trusts the wrong people, and man, does that get used against him.
All right, next up, Nolan Booth. This guy doesn't just think he's the best art thief in the world. He's practically got business cards printed. He's got the charm, the moves, and he's always looking for that next big, legendary score.
For Booth, it's not just about the cash. Oh no, he loves the thrill, the headlines, the how did he do that? He's got this deep-seated need to prove himself, and it all traces back to his dad and, well, a watch. We'll get to that.
And then there's the ghost in this whole operation, the one pulling strings in the background. She's known only as the Bishop, and she's not just one step ahead. She's playing a whole different game.
Yeah, she's the master puppeteer here. Flawless execution, brilliant at manipulating people. She finds your weakness and just twists. Her goal is simple, get all 3 eggs, and she doesn't care who she has to play to do it. Okay, so the board is set, the pieces are moving. The action starts in Rome. Hartley gets a tip, from the Bishop, by the way, and he thinks he's got Booth dead to rights, right after Booth steals that first egg. But here's the thing. In this game, if you think you've won, you've probably already lost.
And boom, the Bishop makes her move. It's genius, really. She swaps the real egg for a fake one and frames Hartley for the whole thing. Just like that, the good guy cop is now a wanted criminal. And where do he and Booth end up? Locked up together in some crazy Russian black site prison. You can't make this stuff up.
So they're stuck in prison, and who shows up for a little chat? The Bishop. She lays it all out for them. There's an Egyptian billionaire willing to pay $300 million for all 3 eggs. But he needs them for his daughter's wedding. It's a deadline, and it is absolutely winner take all.
And this is where things get really interesting, right? Because you see how these 2 are just 2 sides of the same coin. The cop whose dad was a crook, and the crook whose dad was a cop. Now they're trapped, they've been totally outplayed, and they have to work together. The ultimate odd couple. Their only shot is to, gulp, trust each other.
So after a pretty wild escape, this new shaky partnership has its first big test. They've got to go after egg number 2. Only problem, it's sitting in the vault of a seriously dangerous arms dealer named Sudaksi. Not exactly a walk in the park.
So, Booth comes up with this just ridiculously complicated plan to get into a masquerade ball at the guy's villa. It involves swiping his phone, stealing his thumbprint, and get this, using deepfake tech to copy his face and voice to get into the vault. Yeah, you know, just a normal Tuesday.
And the crazy part is, it works! They get the egg! But that feeling lasts for about 5 seconds, because guess who shows up? The Bishop! And it turns out she's working with the arms dealer. She waltzes off with the egg and leaves our guys to get caught. Again.
Somehow they escape again. And at this point, Booth is desperate. He's out of options. So he spills his biggest secret. He knows where the 3rd egg is. And this story, man, it goes all the way back to a Nazi art dealer in 1945 and a secret bunker hidden somewhere in Argentina. This is where it all comes full circle for Booth. Remember that watch, the one connected to his dad? Turns out, the location of the bunker is engraved right on it. It wasn't just a watch, it was the map. So they use it, they find this lost Nazi bunker, and there it is, the 3rd egg.
Booth is finally having his moment. He did it. He found the unfindable egg. And then, the Bishop shows up with Interpol. And in the biggest shock yet,
Hartley, his partner, slaps the cuffs on him. So it looks like Hartley was the good guy all along, just playing the long game to catch the bishop. But hold on a second. What if none of that was real? The rivalry? The we have to work together stuff? The narrow escapes? What if the whole thing was one giant, perfectly staged play? Because here's the real twist. The mic drop moment. Agent John Hartley and the bishop. They're partners, and they have been from the start. They're not rivals. They are the bishop. Both of them. This, my friends, is what you call a long con. It's brilliant. They knew Booth was the only one who could possibly find that third egg. So what do? Hartley plays a part. He becomes the perfect mark, gains Booth's trust, and manipulates him into doing all the hard work for them. So, Hartley and his partner, the other bishop, they get the eggs, they collect that massive $300 million payday. They're golden. But you can't keep Nolan Booth down. He escapes, of course, and what's the first thing he does? He tips off Interpol, gets their brand new bank account completely frozen. Then he strolls up to them on their yacht and says, "Hey, looks like you need a new job to get your money back. And I've got one. For the three of us."
And that just leaves you wondering, right? Booth got played, absolutely. But then he turned right around and played the players. So in a world full of master thieves, where everyone is running a con, who is really conning who? Is there such a thing as a real partner? Or is everyone just setting up the next betrayal?